Hello and welcome to the Call to Courage. This is the first episode of 2024 and stoked to be back creating again and putting some content out onto this channel. For those of you that haven't consumed our format before, we do long format conversations and these shorter post game episodes where we share some of the lessons and learnings that we are experiencing in our own lives and our business as we create a pretty rapidly growing men's work brand. And a lot of the lessons that we're taking from our experience as we go through the process of creating a content based business, creating a space where men come together to have transformational experiences, and also building a business that supports this and supports our mission to be able to grow. We're continually looking at where we can improve. And our aim with this format of the podcast, which is called the Post Game, is to share some of that stuff with you. And if you're on the same journey or are interested in the topics that we're talking about on this podcast and inside the Fathers, Sons, Brothers community, we can share some of our lessons and get some reflection from our community. So I'm stoked to be sharing another episode with you today. Normally we do this format with myself and Matt on the show, but he is currently looking for a new house in Ecuador. And I'm putting this together so that we can get something out to the world, and we'll be back co-creating probably in the next post-game episode. But for now, I just want to share that it feels like 2024 has taken off very, very quickly, despite all of our efforts to go as slowly as possible. It feels like I just looked up and it's suddenly like the 20th of January. And we're well into the new year. And I think I want to start with some of the learnings that Matt and I received from doing a post game of 2023. Post game might start to sound a little repetitive in this format and on this show, but it's for us a powerful opportunity to take a moment to reflect back on a past experience so that we can take the lessons of what we've learned from that time and anchor it into what it is that we want to create in the future. So that's what we're doing with these types of episodes, but we also use the same format of reflecting on the year that's passed. And one of the things that we reflected on in our business was we weren't we weren't well prepared in terms of a flow of exactly what we wanted to create for the 12 months that made up the year 2023. And so how that ended up manifesting in our business is we would be like, oh, let's do a live event. And suddenly we would be hustling to try and get something out of the door, find speakers, only to have that event finish and then not necessarily know exactly what we were going to do next. And so clearly that's not going to be a way to create ease and flow and the best possible experience. And so Matt and I spent a good few hours taking a look at exactly how we want 2024 to go. And we've divided the year up into 4 quarters, and we're going to have a theme that brings those quarters together and specific content related to each of those themes. And we're going to change that a little bit month by month. So I want to share those with you now because we're really stoked about what we've created for 2024 and would love to hear your feedback on which of these topics are most interesting to you. But the first quarter, we're looking at developing an unshakable mindset. And we are in January, we've been unpacking the theme of meditation and how to use meditation as a tool to develop a powerful mind. In February, we're going to be looking at fear and how to develop a healthy relationship with fear. And the theme is called Finding Freedom in Fear. And a healthy relationship with fear to me is recognizing that fear is healthy, and we can also let it hold us back if we don't step forward where we're being called into doing something and it's aligned to what it is that we're calling in. Fear can sometimes get in the way. In month 3, we're going to be doing a theme called Do Hard Things, Have an Easy Life. This is something we've spoken about on the podcast before. And for a men's work brand, that's often going to sound like do hard things, get out there, get in the ice bath, do a challenge. And those things are true. But I was talking to a brother today who was saying, sometimes for men, the hard thing that we need to do is take a breath, take a breather, take some self-care, give yourself some more time. And that can feel like a very hard thing to do, but it is the thing that makes you have an easy life. So we're excited to share some of our formats that we can use there. And we're also in conversation with a brother who has got an amazing story to tell about fear, and a really, really powerful life experience that went on for 6 years. It's fucking epic. And I'm excited to get that confirmed and lined up. But that's going to be something that we're going to tackle over the next quarter. Then, just to give you an idea of what the second quarter is going to look like, this is all going to be around transformational relationships. We're going to have 3 months of content around how to get clear on what it is that you want to call into your life, how to set up spaces to have authentic communications inside relationships, and also how to be able to reflect and harness some of the gifts that we have from our past relationships so that we don't leak energy on those connections if we're looking to put our attention onto a new connection, maybe your current relationship, or to call in an ideal partner. We're going to tackle all of that inside the second quarter. The third quarter of 2024 is around wealth care, the idea of developing financial clarity, developing financial fitness, thinking about legacy planning and a process for budgeting, as well as linking to something that we call purpose work, like getting clear on what it is that you came here to do, and then making sure that you have a plan to go through with that and get paid to do it so that you can keep doing it and share your gifts with the world, is all going to be covered inside this theme of wealth care, which will be quarter 3 of 2024. And then finally, the final quarter of 2024 is going to be a theme around tracking your shadow. And this is really based in the idea that some of the most successful people that I've met, teachers, mentors, people that I aspire to, the best of them are the ones that are continually open to being coached and are open to receiving and actually seeking out shadow reflection from people that they trust. We all have things in our subconscious that we can't see. And if you're out there without developing a team or a tribe of mentors that you trust around you to be able to call out your shadow, where you're not showing up fully for the things that you actually want to call into your life or into your business or into your relationship, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're making it more difficult for yourself. And so we're going to spend the last quarter of this year unpacking an actual map that we've channeled to support you to be able to identify your shadow and how to be able to integrate shadow feedback so that you don't leak energy on old stories or things that you can't see in your subconscious that are preventing you from showing up fully for the things that you want to call into your life. So super jazzed to have that locked in. Each month, we're going to unfold these themes inside the podcast, on the podcast, inside the Fathers, Sons, Brothers WhatsApp group. We're going to continue to create conferences, and I'll get into that in a second as to exactly what a conference is. And then at a deeper level, inside the Fathers, Sons, Brothers tribe, which is our premium monthly membership for men, we go a layer deeper and actually take a look at these topics with some sort of deeper and more sort of practically applied tools that we've created for all of these various elements. So we're stoked to be unpacking these themes. And if any of these are vibing with you, drop us a message. You can use Instagram at Gareth Pickering, or check out fatherssonsbrothers.com, or just put it in the WhatsApp group. There's an invitation in the description of this post game to join our WhatsApp group, and I'll get into a little bit more detail around that in a second. The second thing I wanted to share that's been exciting for me personally coming into 2024 is myself and my partner Araminta have just finished building call it a luxury eco cabin in the mountains of Antigua, Guatemala. And it's been such a beautiful process. We have, invested in a project with a dear Guatemalan sister who had this vision for building an eco-friendly earth-built home. We used a process called rammed earth to create the walls and a glass structure, and to create it in a sustainable, regenerative environment. So it has an edible garden, it has a biodigester to process waste. All the water that we use is caught by rainfall and flows into a big reservoir. So there's been all these amazing pieces, and it just feels really good. And we're celebrating our project coming to life. The project is called Lucid Dream. And it's been a beautiful adventure to go on with Araminta, my partner, because we've been together for 5 years and our relationship is super powerful, super deep. And it's really something that I'm quite proud of. And going on this adventure together felt like it took us to another layer deeper on our partnership, and it felt really really good to put it onto Airbnb this week. And yeah, we've already received some bookings, and we've created an Instagram account, and so we've been doing quite a lot of adulting to get this project out into the world. But it feels great, and I'm excited to share the space with those people that want to use the space the way we intended it, which was really to relax, reset, disconnect, heal, write, meditate. And if you ever pass through Guatemala, it would be an honor to host you at Lucid Dream. We have it on Airbnb, and I'll include the details to that project also in the show notes of this episode. Inside the Fathers, Sons, Brothers Tribe, we have a program that is near and dear to my heart. Core scaffolding is the 6 most important tools that have helped me create my life and my business the way that I see it unfolding in my world around me at the moment. We've used the same framework to coach hundreds of men to help get clear on what it is that they want to call into their lives, and then give them some practical tools that they can use every single morning to help set up a morning routine, some emotional guidance practices to help track energy and to be able to see where we're being triggered, and a process to help unpack those so that you can show up for the things that are most important in your life. And so I love this stuff. And it's continually evolved as I've evolved, as the work's evolved, as our clients have evolved, and it keeps getting more and more refined. And inside the Fathers, Sons, Brothers Tribe, which is our premium membership, we have the first 6 months are each of these tools laid out that help you get clear on your life path, that help you with this morning routine piece, that help get you connected to understanding the law of attraction, the process for doing a post game, how to set up your day each day. And we go through this process. And I was just re-recording some of the content because it's evolved, and some of the lessons that we had were old. I had to re-record some of these videos because the messaging and how we teach it has changed quite a bit. And I'm so proud. It feels so amazing the way that it's coming together now. We've really got clear on exactly how to teach this process of creating clarity in your life and the importance of it, and the role that it's played in my life and continues to play in my life as I use this exercise to script out how it is that I want my reality to become. And so teaching it again has felt so amazing. And some of you may have already journeyed with us, and we did some masterclasses on the perfect day. But this exercise of creating a life script for your life and using the framework of one perfect day, what would one perfect day look like in your life if you could dream it up free from any of the constraints that you currently have in your own life. And yeah, I'm just really jazzed to be guiding the men that are inside our tribe through this experience. And yeah, if you're feeling like 2024 is your year and you want to bring big things into your life, but you're not quite sure how to do it, or you feel like you may need some support or accountability, the tribe is the place for you to start with this. We've got a full community of men there supporting one another on our journeys and holding one another accountable to the promises that we make for the things that we want to level up. So I would love to share that exercise with you. If you want to journey a little deeper with that, jump into the tribe. I'll include a link also in the show notes for this episode. So I am currently on day 89 of not ejaculating. And if I had heard myself say that even maybe 5 years ago, I first would have asked, what's the point? Why would you do that? I wouldn't have necessarily believed that it was true, and I would have been completely disconnected from that as a statement. But as life sends us on these amazing teachers and opportunities to learn and grow, I've allowed myself to take a look at what it means to understand my sexual life force better. And so over the last 5 years, I've deep dived into some transformational week-long workshops that support us to be able to clear up any guilt and shame that we have around our sexual life force, and also some tools to be able to reconnect and to be able to access that life force, to use it in your intimate connections, in lovemaking, but also to use it to manifest things into your life. Our entire world is energy, and our ability to be able to manage that energy is our ability to be able to be connected to the world around us, but also to use it as a magician to shape and bring in and manifest the things that we want to bring into our life. So what? So what does all of that mean? Well, I didn't realize this before, but it turns out that every time a male ejaculates, he releases a certain amount of life force out into the world. And for many men, ejaculation is something that happens, if not daily or more than daily, more than once a day, rather. It's happening at least a few times a week. But the idea of a man in his teens to maybe his 60s not ejaculating for, more than 10 days or 2 weeks even seems pretty profound for most of us. And so I have interviewed a brother who has also become a dear friend and a mentor, Leonard Lowe, on the Call to Courage. And we have an episode called From CEO to Sex Coach, where Leonard shares his journey of how you can reconnect with your sexual life force and harness it through techniques like breath work and visualization to be able to use your sexual life force as a way to heal, as a way to be able to reclaim that power. If you're feeling powerless or you're feeling perhaps a lack of flow, not only in your intimate relationships, but also in your life, it could be that you're leaking power every time you ejaculate. And so if you're able to retain that energy and cultivate it, you reclaim that power. And so 89 minus 21, whatever that works out to be, days ago, I started a 21-day non-ejaculatory journey with Leonard. And the aim of it was he guides a group of men to go through a 21-day journey of learning these techniques and principles to be able to breathe and use your intention to move your sexual energy, and a commitment to not ejaculate or go through the process of trying to not ejaculate for that entire 21 days. And so this was the second time I was doing this with Leonard. And I went through that experience, and I've just carried on my process of non-ejaculation for the last 89 days. And I'm sharing that because, yeah, I think it's interesting. I think for many people, it may sound like something that you may not know a lot about. And I'd like to share what's come up for me as a function of doing this. And I think I can start off by saying that this is not about not being connected to your sexual energy. Some people think that not ejaculating for 21 days or not ejaculating for 89 days or whatever the practice is to not be intimate or to not reconnect and move your sexual energy. And that's not actually true. The practice is really to recognize that you will continue to move your sexual energy and get connected to your sexual life force by continuing to pleasure yourself and to make love with your partners and to move this eros through your body. But that every single time you do that, you're not necessarily going for the goal of ejaculation. And in many ways, it's a process of reprogramming yourself that you can activate your sexual life force, move the energy through your body, and you don't have to ejaculate every single time. And so I want to start off by saying that because it doesn't mean that for the last 89 days, I haven't been making love to my partner. And in fact, my partner's in a place where some perimenopausal stuff is taking her eros away. And so our lovemaking rhythm has slowed down quite a bit. But my self-pleasuring practice has been increasing. At least twice a week, I have an active self-pleasuring practice where I'm still getting connected to my body and my sexual life force and using that energy to be able to allocate it and harness it for the things that I want to call into my life. But not ejaculating. So I still connect to that energy. I still move it through my body. I still move it with my intention to things that I want to call into my life. But I'm not actually going through the process of ejaculating. And so I felt amazing over the last 89 days. I feel like I am really in my power. I feel super clear about what it is that I'm calling into our business, into our relationships, into our community. I'm very clear about my exercise routine and the importance of that. And I had some really powerful breakthroughs on tracking this energy because as I've developed over the last 89 days, so much life force in me, I can really feel when I'm not in alignment somewhere. And so it feels both powerful and at times it's a lot of energy. And it's important that I keep cultivating these practices to be able to keep moving this energy so that it doesn't become blocked or stagnant. So, yeah, I think when I step back to how I started this, which was my ability to be able to create my reality, is my own ability to be able to track and shape the energy that comes into my experience. And where I leak energy, meaning I think about things that I don't want to call into my life, or I'm telling stories that prevent me from believing in myself, or limited beliefs or anything like that, those stories run as well, and that creates the energy that manifests what it is that I don't want to come into my life. And so these last 89 days, I've got really, really connected to this energy, and I'm recognizing very quickly where I'm not in alignment with things, where I'm like, that's not true for me. Like, I don't want to have that money anxiety come up. It's just a story, and I can feel that it's a story, but I can take a breath into that and release that story and allow myself to tune into, for me, it would be an emotion of gratitude for how much abundance I already have in my life at the moment, and that I've always been okay, and that I'm always going to be okay, and that as long as I'm serving my purpose, spirit has got my back. That other money story is not actually true in my experience anymore. And so my ability to be able to track this energy and to be able to move it into things that I want has, I think, been enhanced significantly as a function of going on this journey with Leonard, using these tools to be able to use breathwork to connect to this energy, and then also not ejaculating for the last 89 days has been really powerful. So I wanted to share that because it's been big for me. It's been such a powerful part of my journey, and there's so much more that I've learned that I think I'm going to probably create an entire episode on this. But I wanted to share that. And if this is interesting to you, check out the podcast episode with Leonard. Leonard is also one of our Level Up partners that is holding a conversation inside the Fathers, Sons, Brothers tribe. We have a Slack channel with various topics. And if you want to learn more about this, Leonard is dropping free content in there for those men that are part of the tribe. And you can ask him questions and pick his brain about this stuff. He loves talking about it. And I'm really excited to bring this particular topic of ejaculatory choice into the Fathers, Sons, Brothers tribe, because I think it's a powerful skill that many men have forgotten about. We didn't get taught how to do this. And I think a lot of us, me for sure, has wasted a lot of life force in the past by ejaculating, either through lovemaking or through masturbation, into a sock or down the drain, day after day after day, sometimes multiple times on a day. And I think that's been a waste of my life force that I could have been allocating towards something else. And many of the tools that I'm talking about here that I've been using on the last 89 days are the types of things that we will share inside the Fathers, Sons, Brothers tribe. So stay tuned. Maybe the last question on this is, are you ever going to ejaculate again? And the answer to that is definitely yes. The journey isn't to never ejaculate, although I think there are some yogis that believe you don't want to waste any of this precious life force. But I do feel that I am going to ejaculate again for sure. And when I do, I'm going to make sure that I'm very conscious of what it is that I'm calling in that moment when I choose to release that life force out into the world through ejaculation. I want to be very clear about what intention I'm setting for that particular session, whether it's self-pleasure or lovemaking. I think it's more likely to be lovemaking than self-pleasure. But I think, when I will use that as a moment to set an intention for something that I want to call into my life, and be holding that vibration and that thought and that intention when I do decide to ejaculate. And after 89 days, it's probably going to be like, probably life-changing. So anyway, that's my little update on that. I hope you found it interesting. Send me a message if you want to find out more about it, or if you have any questions. I love talking about this stuff. Right, this is the last agenda item for this now 24-minute post-game. I am going to share something that I'm excited to be dropping and releasing on this Wednesday. The date is the 24th. And that's something called the Unshakable Mind Conference. Our January theme is about meditation and developing a strong mindset so that you can show up fully for your important things in your life. And we're going to be having a conference called The Unshakable Mind, where we're going to be talking to a brother called Brett Simpson, who has got an amazing story. He is a cancer survivor, and as a result has become a guide and coach for people that have got cancer. He is also a ultra distance, long distance endurance athlete, run numerous ultra marathons and trail runs. And he's also started and co-founded something called Men Who Meditate. And he's going to share how his practice of meditation has supported him through his healing journey, through his um, endurance sport, how he uses meditation as a way to be able to support him and actually use those as growth events in his life. And also the benefit that he's had from creating this group of men that meditate on a regular basis, and just what's come from that is going to be something that we're going to unpack inside the Fathers, Sons, Brothers WhatsApp group. Once a month inside our WhatsApp group, we're going to be having a conference related to the theme for that particular month. Those are the themes that I went through at the beginning of this episode. And this month, we're talking meditation. So Brett is going to share his practice. He's going to be available for questions. He's going to share some of the processes that he's actually used to help him develop an unshakable mind. And you can take those exact processes. It's going to include things like apps. I'm going to share some of my meditation practices and how they've supported me. And we're also going to drop a couple of free guided meditations that will help you for certain things that you may want to be calling into your life. And all of that's going to be available for free inside the Fathers, Sons, Brothers WhatsApp group. The Unshakable Mind Conference finishes on the 27th. That's Saturday, just in time for you to secure your seat in King's Circle number 20. King's Circle number 20 is going to be a continuation of this conversation around mindset and developing an unshakable mindset. And once you've been through this conference this week, we are excited to be hosting you inside the King Circle. Brett's going to be joining us inside the circle as well, where we will be sharing a couple of other final pieces that already help support and tie a bow on what you consume in the conference so that you can install a meditation practice. And we're actually going to have a meditation challenge that continues after the King Circle. So whether you're new to meditation, never done it before, been dabbling a little bit, but feel like you may need some accountability to help keep you on track, or whether you're a seasoned guru that's sat 25 Vipassanas and is also a breatharian, there'll be some value in here for you. And we're really excited to be sharing this tool. And I would say that meditation has probably been one of the most powerful tools for me that has helped create a sense of ease and groundedness in my experience. It's quite hard to think about who I was 15 years ago without a meditation practice. When I think back to that version of me, I feel this vibration of continually being in a rush, like everything's not quite the way that it should be. I'm anxious about multiple things. I'm powerless to be able to bring that. Not only am I powerless, but I'm also not aware of how I'm feeling. Like there's a part of me that doesn't even recognize how my nervous system was always on. Like there just wasn't the awareness that I could take a breath. I was reacting to everything in my life rather than responding. And yeah, meditation has been probably one of the most powerful tools for me to be able to help center myself, to help myself feel grounded and in my ease when life sends me a curveball, to be able to respond rather than react. I'm thinking now about in moments where I've been like maybe triggered by something in the world or in my partnership, and what it is that the meditation has given me to really support me in that moment, that has supported my relationship in so many ways. It would be hard to quantify just how much my meditation practice has supported me. And the science is already out there. Our mind is such a powerful creator of what shows up in our experience. If you don't have a meditation practice to be able to track that, I'm talking to the Gareth of 15 years ago, it feels like life is happening to you. But when you take the time to cultivate the fact that there's just a steady stream of stories happening in your head, and that you don't have to get attached to them, that you can just observe them, you become the creator of your reality, as opposed to just an extra in a world that's unfolding around you. And so meditation is a powerful tool. And if you're in a space in your life where you feel like anxious, short of time, I love this joke. Um, when someone says that they haven't got enough time to meditate for 10 minutes a day, those are the people that need to meditate for 20 minutes a day. Our ability to be able to slow down is only a function of our ability to be able to meditate and to recognize where we're continually hustling or pushing or in that vibration of moving faster than our nervous system actually feels good at. And yeah, we're stoked to be able to share those practices with you inside the conference called the Unshakable Mind, as well as King Circle number 20. I will leave the details for both of those events in the show notes for this episode. Thank you for listening to this. We are so stoked that you are part of our community. I'm grateful that we've got this first episode for 2024 out into the world, and looking forward to sharing more magic and value with you in the rest of the year. Thanks for being part of our community. I'll see you next time. Ciao.